Hello and welcome to the Redmen TV. It is the team news reaction. I'm Chris Pajak. I'm joined today by Ben Kelly. Liverpool's team is just out, so I can reveal that Ben is going to reveal the team today.
Hello everybody. Yes, it is me. So on the board we have the team. This one confused me. I'm not going to lie. I've just put the names on the board for now. But we've got Alisson in goal. We've got Alexander-Arnold. That surprised me, to be honest. I did expect to see Nico Williams today. We've got Williams, we've got Fabinho, we've got Robertson, we've got Milner, we've got Thiago, Wijnaldum, Jones, Firmino, Salah. This is what I've got at the moment. But I think there's a few different ways that this could be. This could be there, Chris. I mean, I think Ross just suggested there it could be a 4-2-2-2 formation, because for me, I've got Jones on the left at the moment wide. It's not somewhere that we're used to seeing Curtis Jones. So to sort of have four midfield players is a little bit, as I say, it's a little bit more misleading for me. It could be a diamond, like I put in there. If you've got more of a classic, two-man partnership up front. You could have Salah like in the middle somehow. I'm not quite sure how we're going to line up here.
No, I think I'm the same, to be honest with you. I think the back five, obviously, Ben, it sorts itself out, doesn't it? Reece Williams is going to be, as you've put it there, on the right-hand side of the two centre halves, and Fabinho probably left-hand side there. And for me, I'm probably thinking that Thiago plays in the 6, because that's where he's been playing. We've not seen anything of him in the 8, and until I see him in the 8, I'm probably going to put him in the 6 myself. I think Gini Wijnaldum and James Milner, they're four of the midfielders. I'd have Wijnaldum on the right-hand side this time around, and I'd have Milner on the left, because he can cover for Robertson if Robertson's bombing down that wing. And then it's around about who's playing. Is Kurt Jones playing on that left-hand side, like you'd kind of said? And for me, that probably makes sense. He likes to cut inside, likes to use that right foot, likes to get shots off. So maybe he could arrive late into the penalty area and do a little bit of that as well. I think Salah and Firmino, it seems like they'd be in their normal positions. But let's have a look at it then, if you want to do the 4-2-2-2.
Yeah, so
because could Wijnaldum play on the left in that time?
Yeah, I think for me then that makes a little bit more sense to have more Thiago and Milner as the, and have Wijnaldum maybe a little bit more advanced. Maybe something a bit more like that, perhaps. But I don't know. It's not often we see Firmino and Salah working as a 2. So I don't know whether. You don't often get like two partners, in a strike partnership at the moment anyway. So I don't know if that's the way we go. I think if Shaqiri was in this team, it'd be nailed on a 4-2-3-1, and you'd have Salah down the middle. You'd probably have Shaqiri on the right and Firmino in the 10. But this is a little bit more unpredictable for me. So unless it is a 4-2-3-1 and it's Jones and Wijnaldum either side of Firmino, you could be looking at that. That's probably is more of a case of Jones being on the right and Wijnaldum Jones being on the left and Wijnaldum on the right. But it's a really tough one. I'm probably not going to know for sure until we line up and kick off.
Yeah, no, I think you're right there, and you can come back and join me now anyway. And we'll obviously talk about some of the substitutes and stuff. And we've got Kelleher, we've got Mane, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Minamino, Kostas-Tsimikas, Xherdan Shaqiri, Divock Origi, Nat Phillips and Nico Williams as the substitutes there. Now, it was a bit obvious, I suppose, that Mane was probably going to miss out on this one, Ben, because Mane obviously started the game while Firmino and Salah midweek against Burnley were the ones to sit out. So it makes sense there. Jones is the one, isn't it, where is he part of that front three? Because naturally, I think you'd rather see someone like a Shaqiri or a Divock Origi maybe in the front three if it is a 4-3-3 formation. But Jürgen did mention that, maybe it's time to change things around a little bit, and maybe it's time now. I just wondered, Ben, whether did we have enough time to train this if we're changing formation, or is this just a roll of the dice because we're not scoring goals?
Potentially. I think it's difficult because we've not seen loads of Curtis Jones, but what we've seen of Curtis Jones has been playing in the middle. He's been playing the midfield 3, and that's, what he was doing for the unders. That's pretty much what he's done for a lot of his career. So it would surprise me if in a game like this, he just decides, let's just play him on the right, or on the left. So I don't see Jones playing wide, but then again looking at the names on the formation, I suppose if any of those players, but if we were playing a 4-3-3 and any of those players were going to be the ones playing left, it would probably be Jones. So, for me, I'd prefer to see him centrally, whether that's, in an 8 role in a 4-3-3, or even if we're looking at a 4-2-3-1 in the central 10, I'd prefer to see him centrally because I feel like he can be dangerous wherever he picks the ball up. So if you put him on the left-hand side, yeah, he's dangerous out there, but I think what you get from Curtis Jones is his energy, and he'll drop it. He's a very good central midfielder in the sense of he will come to the left-hand side and support there, pick up the ball there, he'll come over, he'll pop up on the right, he'll pop up deeper to collect the ball, and I feel like he's almost wasted wide for me, all those things, if he's limited to a certain area on the pitch where he needs to be. So I wouldn't want to play him there, but who knows, maybe this is something we have been working on for a little while, and he's thought, oh well, you know what, we're not scoring, so let's give it a trial run in a cup game.
Yeah, it is so interesting, isn't it? Because I think, I expected changes to be made. I expected a few changes to be made, but I didn't expect this. At no point when I was at the board earlier on in the week before the starting 11 was I moving players around. Did I think Kurt Jones might be one of the front three? And I didn't really think that we'd change formation either. But we've got options from the bench, and we've not won at Old Trafford in 100 years, which is a bit mad in the FA Cup, isn't it? So, where do you stand on if this is a good game for Liverpool in the form that we're in? Is it or isn't it?
I think it is. I think if we were, obviously we can go out today. That it's not nailed on going through or going out, and we can this is certainly a game that Liverpool could lose. But I feel like I'd be dreading this a lot more if we were playing somebody like Brentford, like Leicester are doing right now. If we were away at Brentford today, lower league opposition, play, good style of football, expansive football, would be up for causing a shock. If Liverpool go out today, it would be disappointing, but it wouldn't be, like catastrophic. It wouldn't be like going out to a League One side, or it wouldn't be embarrassing. And I think that's a good thing. Look, and at the end of the day, you're away at Old Trafford. You know what I mean? Like you've got to go and put in a performance there. It's a really tough place to go, especially for a Liverpool team. As you said, we've not won there in a long time. This is the type of game that maybe we need right now. A game that we can really get ourselves up for. And I do wonder, over the last couple of weeks, has the perception of the FA Cup in general shifted in the team? Are we now suddenly looking at I know we're only 6 points off the pace in the Premier League, but it's going to be very, very difficult to maintain a gap and perhaps close that gap. So in terms of silverware this season, the FA Cup might suddenly be something, particularly if we go through today, be something that we're looking at for the rest of the season.
My big thing on this is that I'm not ready to write the league off, and I don't see why people are. Like, so many people I've seen on social media and stuff over the last week or so, like, well, that's it, that's the league done. We're halfway through the season. Like, what type of supporter are you just want to turn the league off right now? I mean, no, really, I'm not saying it's you, Ben, but I've seen people saying it, and it's like, we're only 6 points behind. We lost 6 points in half a league season. We can gain more than 6 points in half a league season, but we need to turn this form around, make no bones about it. But you can't just turn the league off. Like, why would you ever think at round 5 or round 4 of the FA Cup that we've got a better chance to win the FA Cup than the league when you're only 6 points behind? It's stupid. It's stupid.
Yeah, I think it's a reactionary thing, isn't it? Just because of how bad we've been over the last few weeks, that's all people see. People for some reason people forget the magnificent form that we've been over the last couple of years, and kind of decide that we'll never ever reach those peaks again. We might not reach the peaks of the first half of last season ever again, but there's certainly a very, very good team in this, and that's what I mean. Like, today's a really good opportunity. If we come away and win today, that's such a big boost. And I think whereas with the look of the draw, obviously when this was drawn, we were all sort of rolling our eyes. Actually, bizarrely, I quite fancy us today, because I feel like at the moment this is a game that Liverpool need, and as I say, if we go and win, it'll be such a massive thing for us. So I'm quite looking forward to this.
Yeah, we just had a super chat there from Beth McCard, £5. Thank you so much for that one. So there's a couple of players that we've not mentioned because they're not on the bench and stuff like that. And the first one probably is Joel Matip. Now, obviously, we're doing this live at the moment, so we've not seen any reaction or anything. Has anybody heard anything? Has any of the journalists actually put anything out?
I've not heard anything from any journalists. I'm just looking up James Pearce now, just trying to figure out, because he's normally quite good with it. Ross is saying not yet.
Because that's interesting, isn't it? I mean, I can totally understand not putting Joel Matip in harm's way.
Yeah.
But that then says, if that's the case, Jurgen's not thinking about the FA Cup in the same way that a lot of fans are thinking about the FA Cup.
Yeah.
That says Jurgen's not giving up on the league, which I like, because we absolutely should not be giving up on the league halfway through a season when we're only 6 points behind. There's only one team that's won 5 games on the spin this season. Man City. So that tells you how everybody's having a struggle. And that one was from Gareth Roberts from the Anfield Wrap. I heard him say that on something, I think it was on Twitter or something before. So not to claim credit for that one, but...
Got to say, I would be shocked if Matip's injured again. If this isn't game management.
Would you be shocked?
I would. Even after one game, I would be like, surely not. You know what I mean? I mean that is me maybe manifesting it a little bit. It'll come out now that he's like injured for another couple of months or something. But like, he seemed to get through the 90 on Thursday with
He always does. He always seems to. He never seems to get injured in matches, really. Does he?
But I think with Tottenham on the horizon, I think you're probably right. He's got one eye on Thursday, and he's thinking the last thing we need here is to.
Look, right. Look, we're 6 points behind. If we match Manchester United's points for the rest of the season and beat them away in the league, we're only 3. So you can better Manchester United's form, you know what I mean? I'm just not ready to give up on the league. Gareth Baird with the £2 super chat. People need to stop writing us off in the league. Yes, Gareth, that is exactly right, Gareth. That is exactly what I want to see. I don't want to see, and I get it. Like, don't get me wrong. I was really, really irritated, and I'm really, really, really irritated. I was pissed off about the form, and I'm pissed off about the things that have come out about the transfer stuff. But regardless, I'm a supporter, and I want Liverpool to make sure that we go out there and do something, and do something in this game, and then do something in the league. Use this as a platform.
Here we go. James Pearce on Joel Matip. No Joel Matip in the squad today. LFC managing him carefully following his recent return to fitness. Playing him 3 times in a week would have been too big of a risk. So that makes sense to me. I'm happy that I'm happy that it isn't anything more sinister than that, to be honest.
Well, look, we've got Manchester United's thing. I've got it on my screen in front of me now, and you can see that it's Henderson in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire and Shaw, McTominay and Pogba with Greenwood, Van der Beek, Rashford and Cavani. So they've changed things up a little bit as well. Cavani's obviously a good player, and he's going to give probably Reece Williams one of his biggest tests that he's had. He's a proper centre-forward, him. I mean, he's big, he's strong, he's powerful, he can play that false 9 position if you want, but he's able to get on the end of things.
He's really intelligent as well.
Mate, he's a brilliant footballer, and then I'm interested to see how Greenwood does in this game as well, because he come in with a bang, didn't he? And he's clearly a talented kid. He's got an absolute wand of a shooting foot, and Van der Beek's not getting enough games. So there's enough there for me to say that's a dangerous Manchester United side. And I think they'll probably play a 4-2-3-1, probably with Van der Beek behind a front 3 of Cavani, Rashford and Greenwood. McTominay and Pogba maybe is the holding, but we saw Pogba play a strange position against us last time, didn't we? So
I think he tried to catch us by surprise with that. I'm having to read your screen here because the Man United graphic do that stupid things where they order the players and the numbers, and I'm like trying to place each individual player. But no, I think, look, Man United like a 4-2-3-1, don't they? And to be honest, it's when they play McTominay and they play that system, it works quite well for them. I really rate McTominay as a player. Obviously, Pogba's getting a lot more joy out of, they're getting a lot more joy out of Pogba at the moment. And what you're seeing with Paul Pogba is maybe something that, from Man United fans' perspective, we should have been seeing for a lot longer. He's starting to do a lot more creative things on the ball. He's starting to score more goals. So he's a player that we're going to have to keep an eye on today. Yeah,
we've got a couple of super chats here. Michael Ramsey, I think he's a Manchester United fan. If Man United don't score this rubbish LFC 11, Ollie should be sacked immediately. Okay, fair enough. And our mate Josh, playing Matip once a week is a risk. If he can FO at the end of the season, I've had enough of that part-timer. We can FO at the end of the season. Matip's such a good centre-half as well. And I think for me, where I sit on that, Josh, is that if Matip's your 3rd or 4th, I'm absolutely fine with that. Now, it doesn't help if you get long-term injuries like we have or something like that. But Matip is one of those players for me, Ben, who can just come into games, and it doesn't seem to matter how often he's missing for or how long he's missing for. He just comes into it because, quite honestly, he's used to coming in from the cold and playing. He does it like more than stringing a run of games together. But I personally wouldn't get rid of Joel Matip. I don't know where you are.
No, not at all. I think he's got to. I mean, providing that we can keep him fit for some period of the season, I think he's a useful. I think he probably becomes the 4th choice centre back in an ideal world. Hopefully we make a couple of signings in the summer. We've got to bring at least one in for me because we've not properly replaced Lovren yet. So providing that Gomez and Van Dijk come back and can stay relatively healthy themselves. You've then got Reece Williams or Nat Phillips who can break through, and eventually, for me, Joel Matip becomes the 4th, 5th choice centre back. But you can target him for games, and once you've got the choice of the others, Joel Matip's injury issues don't become as big of a deal because you can target him for games where you know that you want him. So like right now, there's so much pressure on him to play every game because we haven't got any centre back choices. But if we even had Joe Gomez fit at the moment, like today would be a lot less of a big deal if Matip's not playing, because you just know, okay, well he's playing on Thursday. Or if you wanted to play Matip today and not playing on Thursday, that's cool as well because you've got other choices. This is just the situation that we find ourselves in with the lack of centre backs.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm going to end it on this. Anthony Llewellyn, come on lads, let's do this. And I fully agree with that sentiment. And we will be back 15 minutes before kickoff, so about 4:45, something like that. We'll be back with a live watch along. It'll be me, Ross, and then we're going to change it up throughout the evening. So Ben's going to be doing the player rating show later on, hopefully after a win. I'll be doing the Redmen show, and we'll be doing the instant match reaction as normal. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the Redmen TV if you haven't already, and make sure you join us at 4:45.
Aston Villa 7, Liverpool 2.
Diogo Jota everywhere. Right hand side, left hand side, deep as well.
If you want to request a song as well.
How do they do that, Paul?
You just literally go, "Gives a song." Bloody round the field.
It's a no.
Oh, this doesn't feel great. Do you know what? The chocolate's melting and it's slipping out of my hand.
Oh, it's wobbly! It's a wobbly biscuit! The champions are back on top of the pile.